Welcome back to 12 to Your Health. I'm Dr. Derek De Silva. We're 2 weeks into the new year, and no doubt some of you have already given up on your New Year's resolutions. Whether it's losing weight, getting in shape, or just eating healthier, so many of us set goals for the new year only to give up on them, sometimes after only just a couple of weeks. Here to help us make sure you stick with your resolutions is Erin Polinsky of Vernon Nutrition Center. She's a registered dietitian, nutrition and obesity expert, and an author. Erin, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You know, we hear this all the time, right? I made a resolution. I really couldn't stick with it. What do people really need to do to make these resolutions achievable?
I think part of the problem is people set resolutions that are way too broad or they're not specific enough, and that's where they get frustrated and give up on them. So if you set a specific goal for yourself and give yourself a time frame, I find if you set the goal for a year out, you lose motivation along the way.
Right.
So say if someone wants to lose weight, if they say, I want to lose 10 pounds within the next 2 months, that's a realistic goal. You have an actual time frame, and it's a specific amount of weight to lose versus just, I'm going to lose weight in the new year, and that's where it makes it hard.
Now, is that, I mean, that's something I tell my patients, is make these things realistic. Start small.
Right, exactly.
Start small, don't start too large, and then move from there.
Right, because even if someone has a large term, like say they want to lose 100 pounds, which is a fantastic goal, if you think every morning when you wake up, I'm trying to lose 100 pounds, that's so defeating after a while. But if you focus on every 5 pounds, after a while, you'll still get to the same goal, but it'll just seem a little bit more motivating along the way.
Right, I mean, and that kind of goes with the old saying that, you know, a long journey starts with a single step.
Exactly.
You know, that type of thing. What about writing resolutions down, having visuals? Do you believe in that?
Absolutely. I think writing it down is probably the #1 key to keeping your any kind of resolution, because if you write it down and have it on a piece of paper and you see it every single day, you wake up in the morning and remember what you're working towards. Whereas otherwise, if it's in the back of your head, it's easy to just forget about it too.
Do you like journaling?
I do.
Tell people what journaling is.
Well, journaling, you can write down anything. You can write down your thoughts, you can write down your goals for the day, you can write down, let's say if you're trying to lose weight, you can write down your foods for the day or your exercise, but it's just a great way to keep track of what you're doing and where you're trying to go.
Well, let's talk about this wonderful setup that you have here and explain to us what this all means.
Sure. Well, let's take a most common New Year's resolution, which is to lose weight. If someone's trying to do that, they really need to not just say, I'm going to do it, but set up a plan of action of how they're going to do it.
Okay.
So one of the easiest ways for everybody to try to lose weight is to focus on foods that give us a bigger volume for a smaller amount of calories.
Okay.
So let's say you want to have fruit as a snack. Now here we have 2 sources of fruit. We have grapes and we have raisins.
Okay.
Now for the exact same amount of calories, we could either have a 1/4 cup of raisins or we can have about 1.5 cups of grapes here.
Okay.
So you can see this just volume-wise is going to fill your stomach up more, and visually it looks more appealing as well.
Right. What about these goodies right here, these M&Ms?
Right. Yeah, and everyone likes M&Ms, I'm sure. But you know, if you think about for the exact same calories, there's 250 calories of M&Ms right there in 1/4 cup, which is like a handful.
Right.
Instead of that, you could eat 8 cups of Air Pop popcorn, and that's going to keep you full for a very extended period of time.
What a great idea. So this is the same amount of calories as each one of these individually.
Exactly, and you get a huge volume of
And it's a
food
bigger
for it.
volume of food. Okay, what about this right here? What are we doing? What are you trying to achieve with this?
Sure, well this would be a small meal, about a 200-calorie meal. Now you could have 5 chicken nuggets, which is a small meal, and chances are you're going to want something else with that. It's not going to really fill you up.
Right.
For the same amount of calories, just by adding about 4 cups of lettuce here, we could have 3 ounces of grilled chicken. You could still add about 2 tablespoons of a light dressing on this. And this is going to take you a much longer period of time to eat and keep you much more satisfied.
So again, food choices, and I tell people that all the time.
Right.
Make better, just be more conscious of it and make better food choices.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's what this really is right here.
It really is, because you're taking in the same calories, but if that's all I ate for lunch, I'm going to be starving the rest of the day. And that hunger is really going to make you not be able to stay on track with your goals.
Right, right. I mean, you can throw some tomatoes in here, you can throw some cucumbers in here.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a fabulous idea. What about right here? What are we doing
Well, over
here?
here, this is a balanced plate, and vegetables are probably the best way to add volume to your meal without upping the calories too much. So the common mistake most people make is they'll fill their plate probably half protein, like the chicken here, and half with pasta, and they leave out the vegetable component. By just adjusting this and filling your plate halfway with a vegetable, so here we have broccoli, which is a great source of fiber as well as antioxidants, you'll stay full longer. You can still fill another quarter of the plate with a lean protein, and then you have another quarter of the plate with some kind of a whole grain starch, like here we have whole wheat pasta.
Right, what a great idea. So dump the pasta, make the pasta portion smaller, more vegetables, and keep the protein there.
Exactly.
I like this right here. Tell me what you're doing with this. I love when you explain that to me, what you're doing.
Sure. Well, this is basically, a lot of times if we're on a run, we have to stop and get fast food somewhere. So if we look at this sandwich right here is a fried chicken sandwich, a lot of bread, a lot of fat. This is the same calories as all this food here. You have a grilled chicken wrap, you have salad, low-fat dressing, and fruit, all for the same calories.
Amazing. And again, it comes down to food choices.
Absolutely.
Portion control. Use smaller plates.
Exactly.
And that's another thing I'm telling people. Can you just comment on that
Oh,
very
sure.
quickly?
Smaller plates are great because if I took a little bit of, say even these chicken nuggets, if we put that on a huge plate, that looks like no food at all.
Right.
But putting it on a smaller plate, you feel visually like it's a bigger meal, and you're going to feel more satisfied too.
Absolutely. So all of those things, we can't forget water.
Absolutely. Water's important, and water fills our stomach up during the day too. It actually, staying hydrated can help boost the metabolism, which also helps with weight loss. So you want about 64 ounces a day, which is equal to about 4 bottles of water.
Well, I'll tell you what, I really like what you did here with these comparisons and how we can make these wonderful decisions. But again, portion control, better food choices, and all of those things. And journaling, being aware, I think is really the key.
Absolutely,
Great.
absolutely.
Thank you so much, Erin.
Thank you for
very
having
much
me.
for being here. It's been a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
Once again, folks, stay with us when we come back. My second opinion on the legalization of medical marijuana. Plus, I'll answer your email questions. But first, here's a look at this week's Community Health Calendar. You're watching 12 to Your Health on News 12 New Jersey. I'm Dr. Derek De Silva. Time now to answer some of your health questions. First up is Neil, and he writes, my prostate is healthy, but I have an overactive bladder. Is there anything I can do to change that? Well, Neil, you know, the first thing I would say is if you are over the age of 40, let's say 45 and you're in your 50s or 60s, then I think the whole issue of the prostate really becomes an issue. If you're younger than that, or even if you are that age and your bladder is overactive, what you really want to make sure is that you don't have something else going on. Just saying an overactive bladder is really not good enough. Make sure that you don't have diabetes. Make sure that your blood sugar is not an issue, because that's one of the most common reasons that people will start passing their water a little bit more. So get your sugar checked. Our next question is from Erin, and she wants to know, what are the health benefits of ginger? Well, Erin, I'll have to tell you that ginger is one of my favorite herbs, nutrients, if you will. Ginger is an antiviral, it's an antibacterial. Ginger is also really wonderful for people who have problems